he has a criminal record.
The police.
CBC.
He is linked to the police.
CBC News has.
I gotta get to know this guy. It's Mark Saunders. Who's this guy? Mark Saunders? No. Oh, he stepped down. That's right. Saunders. Ceremony held for Toronto Police Chief Mark Saunders as he retires from force. What's next for outgoing Toronto Police Chief Mark Saunders? Who knows what's next? He's probably enjoying his retirement. Actually, he's probably getting to the point now where he's already enjoyed being off for 10 months so far, and he's probably ready to start working again somewhere. But he still wants to. He's had a long run. He had a long run, Mr. Saunders. I wonder what we'll hear about. I wonder why he resigned. Was he forced to feel like he needed to resign? Did he resign for health reasons or reasons that I guess haven't been put out there? Let's see. Toronto Police Chief Mark Saunders demonstrates new stock. I've never seen this.
Canadian small businesses are the foundation of our economy. Running a small business.
You can only shoot. You only have to shoot two. Nice shot, Chief.
Just so the guys will know when
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And all the in front line, all the lethal shotguns are going to be taken off. All the ammunition. So this is actually inside. Okay, folks. Depending on the what we want, it does. Yeah. What we want, it does. Depending on the. Okay, folks. Depending on the what we want, it does. Yeah.
Granular material. Rounds travel at about 270 feet per second. I wouldn't want to be the dummy that gets hit with one of those. Oh, he was Toronto's first black police chief. I didn't know that. I didn't know how many years they had a black police chief. Or if he was the first or the fifth or I guess he was the first. I'm not sure who the current one is. There might even be there might not even be one right now. Deputy Chief James Raymer has been appointed as interim Chief of Police by the Toronto Police Services Board. According to the board, Raymer is a noted leader in the policing community and will step into position on August 1st and serve until a new chief is appointed. He was that man, I guess. Let's see, who is the former Toronto Police Chiefs? Got some good names here. William Stratton, Frank C. Draper, Samuel Dixon, Dennis Draper, John Hutchison, H.J. Grassett. Let's see. Constables of the Toronto Police Department, 1883. From 1834 to 1859, the Toronto Police was a corrupt and notorious political force, with its constables loyal to the local aldermen, who personally appointed police officers in their own wards for the duration of their incumbency. The London Metropolitan Police was the first modern municipal police department, but the Toronto Police is older than the New York City Police Department and Boston Police Department. The Toronto Police Service was founded in 1834 as Toronto Police Force, or sometimes as Toronto Police Department. When the city of Toronto was first created from the town of York. Prior to that, local able-bodied male citizens were required to report for night duty as special constables for a fixed number of nights per year on pain of fine or imprisonment, in a system known as watch and ward. In 1835, Toronto retained 5 full-time constables, a ratio of 1 officer for every 1,850 citizens. Their daily pay was set at 5 shillings for day duty and 7 shillings 6 pence for night duties. In 1837, the constable's annual pay was fixated at 75 per annum, or whatever. I don't know what that word is really. I'm assuming it's probably a certain period of time. I'm not sure what per year. That's what I thought it was, like annually or whatever. A lucrative city position when compared to the mayor's annual pay of £250 at the time. Although constables were issued, I guess before they even had the Canadian dollar, they used to just have pounds, shillings, and pence in Canada back in the 1800s. Let me see. Former police forces or whatever. Scarborough, Etobicoke, North York, East York, Weston, Forest Hill, York Township, New Toronto. Is that so? I guess they have a whole address or something that's called New Toronto. I'm not sure how that would work. I'm assuming you could probably, if you're getting something mailed to you, you could either do New Toronto or Toronto if you're in that area. Let me see. Chiefs of Police. That's what I wanted to see. We got a whole bunch. James Raymer, he's the current one. No picture of him. That's a little bit weird. He's not as notable as Mr. Saunders. A highly notable chief. Bill Blair. Also really notable. Mike Boyd. No picture on Wikipedia for Mike Boyd. I mean, that's a little weird. Julian Fantino. Looks like he's of French descent or something. Maybe Bulgarian or something. I'm not sure. Italy. Italian. We used to have an Italian police chief in the early 2000s. Toronto did. Another guy with none, but I could go through it and I could search him up and get his picture, but I don't want to leave Wikipedia right now. William J. McCormick, Jack Marks, Jack W. Ackroyd, Harold Adamson. The only person that I could think of right now that would kind of be a candidate for being the next notable police chief of Toronto would have to be this guy named Officer Arsenal. He's the most notable one. Randall Arsenal. He's probably the most notable. Him and the southern one, Pappy. But I'd say Randall Arsenal would be the most notable. And then Pappy. And I don't know. That's the only person I could see. But it probably might not even be him. But that's my personal opinion. I think he'd be a pretty good chief. Right now it's the other guy or whatever. But who knows? Who knows about Randy? He's definitely got the content right now to back him or whatever. He's a little bit fruity, that Arsenal, compared to some of the previous chiefs. But that's Arsenal, you know, he doesn't seem too bad. I wouldn't want a really, really mean guy as the chief anyway. But you want him to be serious enough. And, I think Arsenal's pretty serious enough. I wish he would be like, lay off the Instagrams and focus more on something else. He did Instagrams and stuff for a long time. I wish he would get a couple more professional headshots. He probably does. I just haven't seen them. Let's see if he does. Let's see if I can search up headshot for him. I guess that would be his headshot. And yeah, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else that would interest me when it comes to the Toronto Police right now. I was thinking Mark. I used to watch these Toronto Police lives all the time. But then I would be like the only person watching them or whatever. So I stopped watching them. But I'll subscribe. Because it got a little weird or whatever. I'd get on there or whatever, watch their live or whatever. I'd be the only person watching or whatever. So I stopped watching. But every once in a while, you know, I like to keep updated or whatever. So I don't want to be like out of the loop or whatever. And I mean, my hypothesis with Mark Saunders is that he was found out to be connected, highly connected with this gang or whatever in Toronto, known as the Galloway boys. And that was something that never really got released or whatever in the mainstream media. But the former police chief was known to be related when it came biologically to some of the members of this Galloway boys. And that's the last I heard, and he resigned or whatever. We don't know what he's up to or whatever, if he's hanging out with these Galloway boys nowadays. But they shut down these Galloways a long time ago. There was this thing called the Galloway Projects thing, a building or whatever. I'm not sure if you can pull it up or whatever. You might not even be able to pull it up. But several years ago, there used to be some sort of Galloway projects or something or the other, and they just basically relocated everyone in there. It was a really bad area or something like that, and they kind of scattered all over the city. And there's remnants of them still, small remnants, whatever. Drake's known to mess with them or whatever, some of them, or whatever, I guess. And you could watch this documentary about them. The Galloway Boys, Scarborough's most infamous street gang, supposedly. And it goes into some cold case type of things with it or whatever. But this one doesn't even talk about the Galloway Boys that I'm familiar with, supposedly, or whatever. The ones that are directly related to Mark Saunders. That one was named the specific people that I've encountered when it comes to these Galloway Boys that were previously relocated or whatever out of their government housing projects or whatever. They just got out of hand or whatever. Now they're located mostly they're still in the Toronto area, but they're more nomadic now. They're staying in hotels. They're holding on by just some threads or whatever. Might be staying at family members' houses or whatever. They prey on the shelters and things, the shelter system or whatever, and that's who they currently are or whatever. A lot of them went to prison or whatever, remain in prison, got entrapped in the prison lifestyle. Some may be dead. And I don't see any pictures of the one. I know a couple that are sort of skimming by under the radar or whatever.